Hello, I'm David Christman, and welcome to Film Focus. Today we're taking a look at Steven Soderbergh's latest film, Side Effects, starring Jude Law, Rooney Mara, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Channing Tatum. I have to apologize if my explanation of the plot isn't very in-depth. Side Effects is, at its core, a thriller, so I don't want to give anything away. The film follows Emily Taylor, played by Rooney Mara, a woman dealing with depression due to the arrest of her husband, Martin, Channing Tatum. Emily begins seeing Dr. Jonathan Banks, played by Jude Law, about some antidepressant medication. He, in turn, approaches Emily's former doctor, Victoria Siebert, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, about Emily's past problems. From there, we follow what happens when the medication doesn't quite work as stated.
I can get us back to where we were, and I promise, I can make that happen.
Okay, baby.
So you're feeling better?
Yeah, much better.
Speaking in the vaguest terms possible, the story was actually quite interesting. While it was not the most original plot ever, Side Effects was well executed. The film was well paced overall, though I found the first third or so of it a bit slow. It can also be divided into almost 3 equal parts, and I found that I started enjoying the film more and more the further it got along. The first part wasn't that great, the second third was more interesting, but a little bit bland. However, the final third is where Side Effects gets really good.
It's all gonna go away.
It's gonna follow you around forever.
I had no idea this was going on.
The acting was fairly good across the board, however, some performances were better than others. Of the lead roles, Rooney Mara and Jude Law both gave the best performances, something that, while not surprising given their acting ability, is still noteworthy. Channing Tatum's performance, on the other hand, was somewhat disappointing, however, at least did a good job as someone other than a muscle-bound thug. Finally, there's Catherine Zeta-Jones. While her acting was still very good, it didn't quite stand up to Jude Law and Rooney Mara. However, I tend to attribute that more to the writing than to Zeta-Jones herself.
You lying to her, he was lying to me.
I would never be here if it weren't for you.
One thing I was pleasantly surprised by about Side Effects is the camera work. Soderbergh uses the camera to convey the character's emotional states and thoughts very well, something you don't see a lot in mainstream Hollywood film. This really helps give you a better sense of Emily's depression and how it affects her, as well as Jonathan's things you'll find out if you watch the movie. While Side Effects doesn't use these techniques in the best possible way, it's a little bit heavy-handed at times or altogether unnecessary, it's nice to see someone in this part of the industry trying, even if it doesn't always work out.
They swept me off my feet.
At the end of the day, Side Effects is a decent film. It's nothing special, but it does have some nice things about it. The acting is quite good, especially Jude Law and Rooney Mara's, but there aren't any performances that will be remembered in a year or even a few months. The camera uses a couple techniques that are a little bit out of the norm, but not always in the best ways. The story's pretty good, but suffers from a slow first act and a bland second one. The film opened today, February 8th, and all in all, it's far from perfect, but if you're looking for a movie to go to, you could do worse than Side Effects.